again, everybody, and welcome back to Fuji's Blitz. And unless you've been living under a rock for the last 24 hours, you will know that the Y5 birthday event is now in full swing. But what's it all about exactly? Well, this is what it's all about. Now, it doesn't tell you too much. Basically, what you've got to do, you've got to fill these gift boxes. They start as purple, go to gold, and then end up as blue. And as you can see, it goes from level 1 all the way to level 75, and there's obviously levels in between. If you fill them, then you get the gifts at those levels that's stated there. To fill them, you need these candles. Now, to get the candles, you can get them in numerous ways. Firstly, you can get them by playing missions. You get 5 straight off the bat, and you're given a free tank, by the way, at the beginning. And the idea is, if you put these boosters, they come as boosters, you put these boosters in, and as you can see there, you get the boosters. If you put these boosters in and activate them, what happens is, every time you go into battle, as long as you score over 100 XP, you will get 10 candles, assuming you've got the standard, or what they call the rare booster. If you insert a legendary booster, you will get 60 candles. But again, it all depends on whether or not you shoot more than 100 XP. Aside from that, you can also combine rare boosters to get what's called legendary boosters. Now, legendary boosters will give you 60 candles per game, but that comes at a cost. So every candle on the rare booster gives you 10. You combine 8, which is 80, to get 60, but it's 60 per game. Now, you'd have to play 8 games, obviously, to get the 80. And you have to score more than 100 XP in every game. On top of that, you can go to the store. And here we are in the store. And you can buy boosters. You can buy 5 boosters for 1,250. Or you can buy 20 boosters with an extra 10. Gives you 30 boosters for 5,000 gold. I'll be honest with you, if you really want these tanks, you're going to have to purchase 1 or 2 of these. Why, I hear you ask? Well, the only way to get your boosters is by completing your missions. It's the only way you're going to do it, guys. Or by opening those gift containers that we saw earlier. Now, as you can see there, eventually you can also buy the birthday candles if you really wanted to, but it's quite expensive. Now, the thing is, every game will basically give you these candles. So don't think that you've got to win every game. You don't. If you go into a game and you've activated your booster, which you need to do, and other players around you activate their boosters, and you then win, you get 3 additional candles, plus for every other teammate who's also got their cake booster, sweet booster activated, you'll get another 3 from them. So you can actually get quite a lot of these candles. But, and this is a massive but, guys, you will have to purchase the boosters to get the tanks. Now, as you can see there, eventually you get flashy things, you know, these little gifts that they will flash up, and you then press onto that, and you basically take your reward. In this instance, I got the Y5 ELC. So that's what you've got to be mindful of. You've got to play your boosters, basically. You've got to activate your boosters and play them. But what do you get? Well, you get numerous things. Every level will give you something. I mean, you'll get credits, you'll get additional boosters, you'll get additional sweet candies, and the first off, you'll get this tank, the Y5 T34. That's it there in all its glory. Now, I'm not going to kid you guys. These tanks are not the best, but they're free. And you should never knock a freebie. Basically, there's been a lot said about these tanks. This is effectively, it's not a defender per se. And even Wargaming have said it's just defender type. And you can look here, they haven't got great hit points, they haven't got massive damage, they haven't got great penetration. You know, they're not brilliant tanks, and they're certainly not OP by any stretch of the imagination. However, you get them realistically for playing the game. Okay, you may have to drop some gold in getting those sweet candy boosters to do it quicker. But, you know, okay, I dropped 5,000 gold yesterday. I got the 30 sweet candies, and in the space of 24 hours, or less than 24 hours, I have now managed to open all these tanks. So I've got all 3 tanks for 5,000 gold, realistically. Why did I do that? Well, I needed to do that to obviously try and get the blooming tanks so I can do the review and give you an update on how and why and everything's going on. But what are the tanks like? Well, let's start off with this one, the Y5 T34. Now, basically, it's like a, I don't know, what is it? Is it a Cromwell or a Comet chassis with a T34-76 turret smacked on the top? Now, all 3 tanks realistically dish out the same damage. They all realistically have the same armor profile. I'd love to show you the armor profiles, but I can't because Armor Inspector doesn't have these tanks on it. They're not the best. I mean, the load time on this tank is not particularly brilliant. The HE on all 3 of them is not particularly great. It's a fun tank, though. I mean, it's a little bit different. And, you know, the novelty will wear off eventually, and I can't see many people taking these tanks out for a roll much after this event, to be perfectly frank and honest with you. Are they worth it? Well, it depends. If you're a tank collector, then yeah, they're worth having in your garage just for the novelty. Are many people going to roll these out in-game after the event? Probably not. I mean, they're not the best. You've got I Alpha on your AP of about 160, and that goes for all 3 tanks, by the way. They've got pants armor. All 3 of them have got absolutely atrocious armor. The reload times do differ. I mean, the T34 here has got the longest reload. It's, 8 seconds, whereas the Firefly is slightly less, and then the ELC is even fewer. It's about 4 seconds. But they're not brilliant, and as you can see there, you get wasted pretty quickly. And I'm going to skip forward there. We get a second class for our troubles with the top tank, and it was a nice drive. This is me rolling out again. Oddly enough, this one has got quite good gun depression. The hull is thin. It really is paper thin. The penetration on all 3 tanks isn't exactly great. We'll get to the other tanks soon. And as I said, the damage output is the same across all tanks, 160 I and Alpha. With pretty poor HE. APCR, okay, that'll pen most things, but you're dropping your Alpha, obviously, because it's APCR. The T34, it's pretty nifty, it's quite quick, it's quite mobile. The gun's relatively accurate, I say that, and then I go and miss that shot. It will dish out the damage, you know, in a reasonable rate of time. As you can see there, it's just under 8 seconds, basically, to knock out 160 I and Alpha. These are not great tanks, don't get me wrong, they're not great tanks, but they're free, and that's the thing. You can look at it. Now, the event is open for 7 days. In all real terms, you should, in theory, be able to get at least 2 of these tanks in that time without spending any cash whatsoever, just by doing your missions and by, you know, getting your sweet candy boosters every time you open a level. A friend of mine yesterday told me that one top tip: once you run out of these sweet candy boosters, you may want to think about dropping down to the lower tiers, like tier 3, where everybody's rolling out on their free tank, the Panzer III, and you can pick up additional boosters there. Not many, not boosters, candles, because obviously if you win the game, and okay, effectively you're seal clubbing, but if you win the game, then you get 3 candles, apparently. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't tried it myself, but that's what I've been told. Can you do it without spending money? It's a long grind. It's not impossible, but it's not easy. Can you do it with spending a little bit of money? Yeah, I think you can. Well, I spent 5,000 gold and I managed to get all 3 tanks in less than 24 hours. So that was the T34. This is the Y5 Firefly. It's basically same chassis, same hull, but this time with a Firefly turret smacked on the top. And as you can see there, penetration is about the same. Speed, not too much different. The Alpha, you know, it's got a few more hit points, not many. And the damage is exactly the same. Look, it's 200 on your HE, 120 on your APCR, and 160 on your standard AP. So again, you're not setting the world on fire with these tanks. They're novelties. They're not the best tanks in the game, but you know, they're, like I keep saying, guys, these are free tanks. Now, I've got all three, and out of all three, I have to admit, I think the Firefly is the best of the bunch. It's got a pretty accurate gun. It's got decent mobility, and it's got a pretty good load and aim time. That's not to say the ELC hasn't got a good gun on it as well. It has. I mean, like most things in this game, it depends on the team that you're fighting against and the team that you are in. But I enjoyed going out in the Firefly. I thought it was none too shabby, and it was a nice free tank. Fortunately, I haven't mastered any of them. I mean, I've only played I've played a fair few games in the Firefly, a fair few games in the 34, and about 3 games in the ELC. But I must admit, this one was my favourite. And the reason I say that is because I just think it's just slightly better. It's not the same gun as the Sherman Firefly. Let's not kid ourselves here. It's not got the same pen or the same damage. It's dishing out low damage. It struggles to pen, and you have to use APCR when you're facing off against bigger tanks, and you will face off against bigger tanks. And even the APCR will struggle to pen some of those tanks, as you can see there. With the T-29, it's very difficult for me to pen him. But it's a nice tank. It's okay. But I get back to, once the novelty wears off, are people going to drive these tanks? Probably not. But as I say all the time, these are given to you for free, basically, by Wargaming, guys. And you should never look a gift horse in the house, in the mouth. That's what I say. I mean, never knock a freebie. And you're getting these tanks for just playing the game. There's nobody saying that you have to drop money or gold or whatever. All you need to do is play the game, and you need to make sure that you shoot over 100 XP. If you do over 100 XP, you get your candles. If you've got the rare ones, you get 10. If you got the legendary, you get 60. And you know, it's not just about getting those candles on your missions. You'll get them from opening the boxes as well, like I said. As you can see here, I mean, you will get to bounce every now and then. It's not dishing out oodles of damage. It's not too bad though. You know, it's a fun tank. It's enjoyable. It's not the best, not the worst. It's enjoyable, and for a free tank, you know, it's good fun. Unlike when I played yesterday, every man and his dog was rolling out in Y5 T-34s. Today, I haven't seen many. To be honest with you, I think the novelty is wearing off already. In fact, I haven't seen many people shoving their boosters in, their sweet candy boosters, to get those candles either in a lot of the games. I don't know why. I mean, if you've got the candy boosters, I didn't unselect them. I just had them on constantly. Okay, my win rate for the last 24 hours has been around 75 to 80%, so I did win quite a lot of games. If you were on yesterday, you would have seen that the servers were overloaded. There were a lot of people playing, because obviously it's an event, it's new, people want to get these tanks. But aside from that, you know, I didn't struggle. I had a good time. Like I said, I had about 75 to 80% win rate. And I managed to get to level 50 whatever in next to no time. And I got all 3 tanks. Anyway, here we go again with the Firefly. And the thing about this tank is, it is good fun, to be honest with you. Will I play it after the event? Oh, I may go back to it every now and then. But because the armor is so poor, and it really is very poor armor, by the way, it's not the best. Then, you know, you sit there thinking, am I going to play with it again? Probably not. But it's nice to have it in the garage. You can probably sell them, and you'll get some credits back, which is nice. It's always a nice touch. You don't get much. I mean, those of you who got the Panzer III and already in your garage, you got 50 gold, which was nice. I mean, it's a nice touch. You didn't have to do anything. You got a free tank, and you got 50 gold for nothing. So you can't knock Wargaming for what they're doing here, and a lot of people do. A lot of people turn around and say, oh, it's another one of these stupid events with these fantasy tanks. Guys, all you've got to do is activate the sweet candies and play the game as per normal. If you win, you get these candles. If you don't win, you've lost nothing if you don't want the tanks. You know, no one's forcing you. Just don't moan and bitch all the time. Just take it for what it is. Wargaming is basically giving you free tanks, free credits, and free boosters. Because they do. Every level that you unlock, okay, you've got the main levels, which are the tanks and the attachments to the tanks. But every level will give you something. So let's say, I mean, this one you have to get to level 30 to get the Y5 Sherman. Firefly, once you've got the Firefly, let's say you go to level 31, you can get up to about, I don't know, 40-odd thousand credits for nothing, for just playing the game. I mean, I think that's fantastic. Will many people go, you know, take it seriously past level 50, which is when you get the ELC? Oh, I don't know. Many people want the avatar, some people want the camos, who knows? But again, it's free. You know, all you got to do is play the game, activate your boosters, play the game. That's it. Can't be any more simpler than that. And yeah, I thought it's a nice touch. Like I say, never knock a freebie. It's an okay tank, the Firefly. Not the best, not the worst, a bit like the 34. It's the same chassis realistically, just got a Firefly turret smacked on the top with the same gun that you get in all three tanks, realistically, apart from the load time. As you can see here, the load time here is just shy of 6 seconds. Sorry, just shy of 7 seconds, where the other one was just shy of 8 seconds. So, you know, it's a tier higher. This one is tier 6. So you've gone up a tier. I mean, the 34 is a tier 5. This is a tier 6 tank. You're facing off some formidable opponents, but you can do well. I mean, you got 4 kills there, 1400 damage, didn't bounce anything. It's very rare to bounce anything in these tanks. Only got a 2nd class, but I had fun doing it. That's all that matters. This is the last one. I just want to show you, you know, some of the things you can do with this tank. So I decided to, you know, just rush in YOLO and be a fool. As you can see, you know, the gun's not bad, the armor's pants. The armor really is poor, guys. The gun depression on this one isn't as good as the T-34. The T-34 is a much better gun depression, or it appears to be much better gun depression. But, you know, it's okay. You're going to get penned by most things, but you can give out as good as you get. I mean, the HE is pretty poor, as you can see there. It's got very poor pen. Doesn't really nosh out. Although, to be fair, in the T-34 yesterday, I smacked a Nashorn, I think it was a Nashorn, in the side with HE for 200 odd, which was nice. It was very nice, in fact. But, you know, I found that majority of the time you need to load the APCR on, against some tanks. The penetration values on all 3 tanks isn't great. But, again, it's free, so don't whinge so much if you're getting a free tank. No one's forcing you to go out and play it. Just stick it in your garage. If you don't want it in your garage, then like I said, sell it. No one's telling you you've got to keep it. But as you can see here, you know, it's not a bad tank. But like everything in this game, as I said previously, it's not always about the tank, guys. It's about the teams you're facing, the teams you're with, and you, and how you play the game. These tanks are not OP, not by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, there is nothing OP about any of them. They're all pretty poor, not the best, but it's a fun game, eh? You just go out and have a giggle. Play them for the novelty, then let them collect dust in your garage and bring them out every now and then. Why not? That's what I'd do. But as you can see here, you play the tank well enough, you can do well in it. We're doing what? Not shabby amounts of damage here. It increases, it's a very easy tank to play. They're not difficult. You just have to be mindful that you really are paper thin. You're not great, but you can do some nice damage. You can play around with it. I like it. I liked it. Well, I did like the Sherman Firefly, I must admit. Oh, sorry, the Y5 Firefly. It was a nice tank. Another 2,000 damage there. We get a 2nd class for our troubles again, which, is okay. What about the Y5 ELC BIS? Well, what can I say about this tank? As you can see here, it's got the same type of rate of fire, the same penetration, it's got pants armor, it's got pretty good speed, and it's got it's got the same amount of hit points. When you roll it down and you start looking at the penetration values, and you're dishing out the same damage, guys. It's realistically the same pen. In fact, all three tanks are basically the same gun. The only difference being is the reload times. And as I said, this one's about 4 seconds, which isn't that bad. It's not an ELC BIS, though. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, for one, the turret goes all the way round, unlike the BIS, where it doesn't. So it only goes 45 degrees left and right. Two, none of them are auto loaders. They're all the same. As you can see here, it's just shy of 4 seconds, the reload. What can I say about this one? This one is a tier higher again. This is tier 7. And, well, the gun's pretty accurate, but it's the same gun on all three. It struggles at this tier. I'll be honest with you. In the wrong hands, it will struggle. It's not got the greatest armor, like all of them. It's not got the greatest gun. It's not got the greatest penetration. And it's not dishing out oodles and oodles of damage. Again, it's a novelty tank. And again, it's a free tank. It's a lower profile than the Firefly, because the turret is quite squat. But is it a good tank? It is what it is. It's a free tank. And, to get to this tank, you have to get to level 50, which, takes some doing because of the amount of boosters that's needed to get those candles. But, again, I mean, it's not the worst tank, but it's not the best tank. And like I said previously, it depends on how you play it, depends on how your team plays, and it depends on how the opposition play it as well. So I'm going to take out this IS-6 here, so I didn't struggle to pen him realistically, but I'll rear on. And this is the thing. I mean, it's just a bit of fun, and it's what you make it. I personally would advise you, don't drop any money on these guys unless you really want them, because they're all pretty much the same tank. They just look a bit different, and they've got different load times. Aside from that, you're pretty much the same tank. It's the same gun in all three, in real terms. If you want it, then who am I to tell you not to spend money to get it? But I would advise, you can do it for free. It just takes a bit of a grind. And you don't really need to think about it, to be fair. Just stick your boosters in and play your games as normal. If you win the tank, it's a bonus. If you don't, you're not missing that much, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. I mean, I really don't think you're missing much if you don't get these tanks. They're not that great. They really are not that great. I mean, this is tier 7. I'm doing 160 iron alpha on a 4-second reload. Struggling to pen in a tank that's got no armor. Get a second class for my troubles. It was enjoyable. I get a second class there, and I was like the bottom tier tank. Anyway, that's the birthday event. Those are the birthday tanks. I've been Fugit. I hope that's shed a bit more light on the subject and shown you what you need to do, how you need to do it, and what the rewards are going to be, and giving you a bit of insight into the tanks, which, well, let's be fair, they're not the best. Anyway, if you haven't already, please press subscribe, comment and like below. Tell me your thoughts on the event. Guys, take it for what it is. You get to play the game as you would normally play, and you have the possibility to win some tanks if you want them, and some other bits and bobs in between, like credits and boosters and other things. Don't take it to heart that you're getting a load of pants tanks. That's not the idea. By all means, as I said, comment and like below. If you've got any decent replays, by all means, send them to me at fujitsblitz@gmail.com, or come and join me on my Discord server, and you can upload them there. And until the next time, enjoy the birthday event. It's only on for 7 days. You get to win some cool stuff for doing nothing. I would advise you not to drop any money. Stay safe, have fun out there, and happy tanking. And please just enjoy the birthday event. Who knows? you might get things that you didn't expect.